And so the the theme that we thought would be lovely to share is, thanks, Geraldine, is a sense of our lineage. And in fact, we're just teaching that here today, here at BCBS, Barry Center for Buddhist Studies. And so it's been very fresh in my mind here. This is what we're teaching here in this dedicated cohort. And so it kind of felt like a right time. And so what I thought we would do is lead a meditation. I lead a meditation in the fundamental practice that we received from our Asian ancestors, preceded by our chanting, and then talk about our lineage. And so our lineage, of course, goes way back to the Buddha. And the teachings of the Buddha, one of the very first things he taught were the refuges. And the refuges, these three areas that we can rest in, really take refuge in. You know, the understanding that really this capacity for peace and kindness and understanding really rests in our own heart, not outside ourselves. It's really touchable and accessible here. And then the refuge of the Dharma, the teachings that we can come to have more and more confidence in as we practice them. And we have just a tiny bit of confidence is enough. A tiny bit of confidence is all you need to come here for the very first time. And then we just cultivate from there this sense of deepening capacity to rest into and use the teachings to support our hearts. And then the third refuge is the refuge of the community. And just how I feel just now, how beautiful to have a group of people who have our well-being in mind, who care about us, and who we can practice together, who really support the practice. And so that's what we're chanting. And so thank you, Andrea, or who was it, Andrea or Leanne that put that in the chat? Leanne, Andrea. Thank you, Andrea. So we'll chat. And I love the wonderful thing about being at home is that you can chant, and I always say as loudly as you want to, because no one's going to hear you except you. And so you'll see me holding my hands like this. This is a traditional way of honoring the teachings, offering respect, and it's completely optional. It's not necessary. Everyone will have their own relationship with that. Some people just silently just offer appreciation. That's all. That's all. And so Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Buddhang Saranang Gacchami, Dhammang Saranang Gacchami, Sanghang Saranang Gacchami, Dutiyampi Buddhang Saranang Gacchami, Dutiyampi Dhammang Saranang Gacchami, Dutiyampi Sanghang Saranang Gacchami, Tatyampi Buddhang Saranang Gacchami, Tatyampi Dhammang Saranang Gacchami, Tatyampi Sanghang Saranang Gacchami. Thank you, friends. And For those who may be new, my apologies. I didn't completely translate the Pali. We chant in Pali, which was one of the languages spoken at the time of the Buddha. And we like to do that because it connects us to the whole Asian lineage and honors the Asian lineage. And the word Budang, Budang, so we're taking refuge in the Buddha, Saranang Gacchami, or Budang Saranang Gacchami. Gacchami, we take refuge, and then Dhammang Saranang. Dhammang is the Dharma, the Dhamma, the teachings. And we're taking refuge in that. And then Sanghang is the community. The Sangha, we take refuge in the community. And so for tonight's meditation, I wanted to just be very simple. The first thing, or one of the first things the Buddha taught, which is what we practice every Wednesday, this teaching called the Sati Patana. Sati in Pali means mindfulness. Patana, the foundations or the establishments of mindfulness. And the very first foundation of mindfulness that the Buddha invited us to pay attention to is the body. And this has come down to us from the Buddha, directly from the Buddha, down 2,600 years from person to person to person to person. And the first foundation is this invitation to rest into the sensations of the body and the breath. And this is partly because the body and the breath are in the present moment. And so it helps us to bring the mind and the heart into the present moment. And it helps to steady the attention. Even if the attention is just on the body and the breath for a half a breath, that's all we need. Even a half a breath, like every 10 minutes. And I'm not kidding, friends. I'm not kidding for people who might be new. When the attention moves away from the body and the breath, it's normal and natural. And it'll come back all by itself. And then we just bring the attention back to this anchor of the body and the breath, however we feel it. Could be like just a generalized sensation of the weight of the body on the chair. It's just a place, a home base to bring the attention. No, eventually we would open up all the attention to be mindful of everything. And so we start with the body and the breath as a relatively accessible place. But there's nothing magic about the body and the breath. We don't have to stay on the body and the breath. It's really about coming back here with kindness and gentleness in the beginning stages of meditation to develop this capacity for just stabilizing the attention, steadying the attention, but never worrying if the mind is thinking. Never worrying about that. And so bringing the attention into the sense of the body sitting, steady and stable, this sensations of the body sitting or on the chair or the cushion or wherever it is that you're sitting. Could be reclining, could be lying down. Just noticing now the sensations of that body posture. This helps you know you're in the present moment now. And so sensing the weight of the body on the chair. Just that simple sensation. It can be helpful to sense the whole body sitting. And then sometimes we can play with that and sense more closely into the body. So just being curious, what are the feet touching or not touching? Maybe the feet are kind of in the air. Maybe they're touching the floor. What's the contact? What's the sensation of the feet? Are they warm or cool? Sensing the legs and the hips and this tripod of the posture, the feet and the legs and the hips, how just noticing how that can be a kind of a steadying, kind of a stable tripod. We're just beginning to notice the sensations of the body as they are, practicing with mindfulness to be with them with this kind, open, curious attention. Just the direct sensations. And so sensing from the hips up to the small of the back, the middle and the upper back. Noticing the belly and the chest, shoulders, this whole trunk of the body. And gently sensing the arms and the hands, and the neck and the back of the head and the top and the face. And we do this gently just to begin to support the attention, the mind, to be here in the body. Just the direct sensations, curious. Just about the direct sensations. And the attention will move away even as I'm talking. The attention will daydream and plan, and then you'll notice it comes back all by itself. And without judgment, with gentleness and softness, we can bring the attention back to the body, just the sensations. And also in the teachings, the very first teaching really is this teaching of also bringing ease into the body. And very often we tune in and there can be a tightness. And so we can intentionally invite ease. Invite the body to rest back. Remember, it can just rest back and receive the sensations. And this can be such a powerful support for both our body and our mind. The mind leans forward just like the body does sometimes. We can help the mind just rest back. This whole practice of mindfulness, sati, is a practice of releasing in a way, if we can, as best we can, any judgments or expectations of the body or the mind. That the body should be a certain way, that the mind should be a certain way. We often expect the mind, when we sit down, to be completely quiet. That can set up agitation in the mind. And so we have this mindfulness, this kind acknowledgement of the mind, even if it's busy, it's okay. This performance-free zone, this pressure-free zone. We befriend ourselves just as we are. A very profound way of attending. And there's kindness right here in this way of attending. We can tune in to the sensations of the breath. This may be a way that's more restful for you than tuning into the body, although you can choose. Is it more restful for you to sense the sensations of the body sitting, or more restful and easeful to tune more closely to the breath? The sensations of the breath as it lifts in the chest and the belly, the sides of the body, the back of the body, shoulders, and right in the teachings, the early teachings, the invitation to find a way that the breath can be pleasant for you, as pleasant as possible. This soothing rhythm of the breath can sometimes be pleasant. Having an image of ease or the ocean, gentle swell can be pleasant. Or if it's more pleasant for you to rest or bring the attention to the sense of the body sitting with ease, then do that. Whichever home base is most pleasant, most easeful place to bring the attention back. And so we'll practice in silence for a while and when the attention moves away, comes back, just come back gently, kindly to this home base, body sitting or the body breathing. And just as we close our meditation in the last few minutes, let's close with our heart practice, our metta practice, which is also an early practice, one of the very earliest teachings. Just bringing in a sense of appreciation for yourself, for bringing yourself to the practice, for wanting to offer yourself some ease, some peace. Just appreciating that you've offered yourself this gift. And sometimes we offer ourselves phrases, and sometimes just abide kind of in a felt sense of appreciation and softness and gentleness for ourselves. We can invite the belly to soften, shoulders to soften, just as an offering of kindness to ourselves. Or we could offer the phrases, may I be held in safety, in the safety and the refuge of mindfulness and kindness. May I know small joys every single day. May I be balanced in body, mind, and heart and spirit. And may I live with ease and peace. And just sensing all the people on the call here, these kindred spirits, really, some we know well, some who we are in the circle with here for the first time. All of us really searching, wishing for the same thing, some peace in the heart and the mind. That makes us all friends, really, on the spiritual path. And so just appreciating these kind hearts who've taken time to be here with us, taken time to be here with you, and offering their presence as a gift to support us. Just appreciating each person on the call and wishing softness and gentleness for them. And we can just feel again, invite our own bodies to feel soft into softness or gentleness. And that's an offering to them. We can also offer the phrases. May all of us here be held in the refuge of mindfulness and kindness. May all of us here know joy every day. May all of us here be balanced in heart and body and mind and spirit. And may all of us here live with ease and with peace. And just sensing out across the prairies, there's Prairie Sangha, Saskatchewan, Alberta, Manitoba, and sensing across the country and across the continent, around the world, holding the planet itself, and back 2,600 years lineage to the Buddha, holding all of these beings, ancestors in our hearts. May all beings everywhere live with ease and live with peace. And just sensing in your own body with softness and gentleness in your own way. Just inviting ease, these flavors of kindness and care. And Making a little intention to rest as best we can in the body with kindness and care and softness as we open our eyes. And so, thank you, friends. Yes, thank you. And for friends who are new as well, this bow is optional. It's just a way of honoring each other, honoring the Buddha in each of our hearts. And I don't often close like that with metta, but I just had such appreciation for every person here. Such appreciation for our community. And so this thank you everyone for the gift, the real gift of your presence. And so, friends, our wish tonight was to offer understanding of our lineage and um, this beautiful, when we sense into our lineage like this, we can we can have a sense of inspiration of the teachers that have offered this to us, a sense of appreciation, more of a connection to these teachers. You know, they can sometimes feel far, far away. But if we tell stories about them and share about them in this way, we can feel a little bit more connected. And then we can also feel like more connected to the teaching that all of us are carrying forward. Each one of us is in the lineage. And so we start with the Buddha, and um, I wanted to, friends, offer an understanding of how, and I hope this can be helpful for new people who newer to the practice, and also for those of us who have been in the practice for decades. And I know that there are people on the call in all timelines. Some of us have been in the practice for decades and others are new. So I think it's helpful for us all. And I find every time I kind of clarify this in my mind, it comes clearer in my mind and I feel a little bit more re-inspired. So the Buddha taught 2,600 years ago in northern India. And then the teachings traveled from there to South and Southeast Asia, Burma, Thailand, Sri Lanka. And there it became known as Theravadan Buddhism. This is our tradition. This is the tradition that we teach from, that we teach and study in. From Burma, Thailand, Sri Lanka, it moved to China and Japan and became known as Chan and Zen. And that's called the Mahayana tradition. The Theravada, and then it moved to Tibet and became Tibetan tradition. Each of these evolutions of the practice are rooted in the same teaching, the same heart teaching, and that is the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path. But each of these three evolutions have a different kind of flavor. The first flavor, the Theravadan flavor, has a more of a flavor, it's more concrete, and the instructions are very concrete. And that's one of the reasons I gravitated towards it, because my mind needs some concrete instruction. Anybody else find that kind of helpful? And so then the Mahayana tradition or the Zen tradition, one of the characteristics of that tradition is the koan, which is kind of a short saying that you the kind of gives a little paradox for the mind to contemplate. This is one of the major ways that they teach. And then the Tibetan tradition is quite well known for its ritual and high ceremony and the beauty of the ritual. And then Buddhism came to North America in the 1850s with Chinese communities and Japanese communities who came to work here in Canada. And then, of course, since then, these heritage communities, Vietnamese, Burmese, Sri Lankan, Tibetan in Saskatoon and across the prairies have established themselves. And then for our lineage, this particular lineage that we teach in, our lineage comes through the Theravadan tradition as taught through IMS, the Insight Meditation Society. And that was established 50 years ago in the United States, in Massachusetts, in fact, right where I am right now. Then about 10 years later, 40 years ago or so, it moved over to Spirit Rock and was established there in the Spirit Rock Meditation Center. 30 years ago, friends, came up to Saskatchewan. 33 years ago, actually, into Regina. And then 30, anyway, we'll get more to that. But you see, it traveled up towards us from Massachusetts. And so the teachers, the founders of IMS, and we just celebrated the 50th anniversary of IMS, Insight Meditation Society, this last weekend, 2 weeks ago. But those teachers, Joseph Goldstein, Sharon Salzberg, Jack Kornfield, had gone to Thailand, Burma, and Sri Lanka and studied with teachers there. And then they were invited to teach back here. They said, the teacher said, go back to home, teach these things. And so these are the teachers our teachers are Joseph Goldstein, Sharon Salzberg, and people like Guy Armstrong and Sally Clough Armstrong. And their teachers were the Asian teachers in Burma, Sri Lanka, Burma and Thailand mostly. So our lineage mostly is Burmese and Thai. And it took me a while to kind of just realize the simplicity of that. Burmese and Thai are our major influences. And so I thought I would share some pictures of these Burmese and Thai teachers. And this is kind of where it gets kind of exciting for me to sense. And I'm going to share my screen now. And so this, friends, can everyone see this Prairie Sangha Dhamma lineage? Thank you. And so this, friends, is something, this Prairie Sangha Dhamma lineage stories is a collaboration project that Saskatoon Insight Meditation community collaborated with Calgary Insight Meditation Society, Edmonton Insight Meditation Society, Regina Insight Meditation Community, and the Winnipeg Two Rivers. So there's 5 sanghas that collaborated on this, and you can see this on their website. So we have a website. Andrea made the website, and Malin is updating it. And I think Malin is on the call right now, right? Malin, can you wave so we can all see you? Maybe we can't see you because you're on the side, but we want to really honor you, Malin, and thank you. Yeah, I don't have I didn't do the technical wizard thing. I can't go into the lineage tree right here, but we'll send the link out. Is that okay, Andrea? At some point, we'll send the link out so we can look. We've got our lineage on here. And so, friends, um, this is one of our ancestors here. Whoopsie. This is Mahasi Sayadaw. And so this is Mahasi Sayadaw here. And then over on the right side is Mahasi Sayadaw in the middle. This is at Insight Meditation Society, probably about 45 years ago. And that's on the very right-hand side, that's Sharon Salzberg, and then Joseph Goldstein, Jack Kornfield, and Jacqueline Mendel Schwartz. And they were all given the transmission by Sayadaw, Mahasi Sayadaw, to teach. And I'm going to stop sharing now just for the moment and tell a story. So Mahasi Sayadaw is the teacher who brought us the noting practice. And did you notice tonight in the meditation, we noted things like I noticed, okay, breathing, the weight of the body on the chair, the feet, the warm or cool, the belly moving. So noting those things, noting is Mahasi Sayadaw's gift to us, or one of Mahasi Sayadaw's gifts to us. And one of his influences really opened up meditation to lay people. In Burma, at that time, in the early 1900s, meditation was more for the monastics. And Lady Sayadaw who was a meditation master, opened it up to lay people, and the Mahasi Sayadaw carried that tradition on. And so we have a huge gratitude to Mahasi Sayadaw. Now, Mahasi Sayadaw started what's called, with capital letters, the Insight Meditation tradition. This is a particular tradition within the Theravadan lineage. All of the Theravadan lineage and all of Buddhism teaches insight meditation, which is insight into the three characteristics of impermanence, not self, no, not us. We don't have a separate solid self. That's the teaching, and the teaching of suffering and the release of suffering. So that's insight meditation in general. But Mahasi Sayadaw started the insight meditation with capital I and capital M, the insight meditation tradition. And that's why we're called insight meditation, from Mahasi Sayadaw. So he gave us our name. And so back to the PowerPoint. And so this is now some other major teachers. This is Anagarika Munindra. Anagarika means a lay person, a householder who has taken vows. And so he was a very influential teacher for Sharon Salzberg, who's there to his right, and also Joseph. And this is the teacher that Kamala Masters asked him once, what's the purpose of life? Munindra G is like an honorific title of endearment. Munindra Ji, she said, what's the purpose of life? And he said to her, compassion. And so he influenced, he really taught compassion and kindness. And then with him over here, this is Munindra Ji in the other picture as well, with Dipa Ma, who's another teacher that is also the heart of really care and love. Dipa Ma influenced Joseph Goldstein and Sharon Salzberg very much. Here's Joseph on the right side with Dipa Ma. You see how tall Joseph is and how small Dipa Ma is? Joseph said that she was a very small person with a very vast heart. And he said this is one of his most influential teachers of care and love, metta and compassion. And so we are the inheritors of Dipa Ma's care and compassion too. This is partly why we practice care and compassion and metta, because of Dipa Ma. I think that I remember one person asked, "What's in your mind, Dipa Ma?" And I think she said, "Love, concentration, love and concentration." That was what was in her mind. Now, friends, so that was the Burmese tradition. Now the Thai tradition is our other major stream. This is Ajahn Chah on the right-hand side of the screen. And this is Ajahn Chah taught at IMS. And where Mahasi Sayadaw brought us kind of a close-in practice, noting. And when we note, we can note the changing sensations of things. And that's how we can see impermanence and this flow of experience, and that we're a part of this flow of experience. Ajahn Chah had a different approach, and the Thai forests have a different approach. Their approach, the Mahasi Sayadaw is kind of, I think of it as a micro approach, coming in really closely. Ajahn Chah is a macro approach, more a nature approach. He said, we can learn all we need to know to be awakened from nature. And we know this teaching, when we're in nature and we can feel that ease. That was Ajahn Chah's teaching. And also Ajahn Buddhadasa, very nature oriented. And Ajahn Buddhadasa, also Thai forest, wrote this beautiful essay called Nibbana for Everybody. In other words, awakening, everyday awakening. He said that we can touch this sense of ease and spaciousness and non-clinging every day. And that has really inspired me greatly. So if you'll hear these teachers, I think, in some of my teaching, when I talk about being able to taste a taste of freedom. That's Ajahn Buddhadasa. Okay, who else do we have here? Okay, Sayadaw Utejaniya. Now, this is him teaching. He was here teaching at the Forest Refuge, which is just next door. One of his major influences, friends, in our practice here today is the sense of ease. he really brought in the ease of practice, ease, just have enough ease, and because sometimes we can get quite strivey, and so if you hear me saying ease, which I do every meditation, you'll have other teachers in the last 10, 15 years especially, ease of practice. That's the influence from Sayadaw U Tejaniya. He's a living Burmese master. And so you'll hear those influences in my teaching. And now these friends are our teachers who went to Burma, Thailand, and came back with these teachings for us. Guy Armstrong, Sally Armstrong, Clough Armstrong in the middle, and Joseph Goldstein. And they have all taught on the prairies. Calgary had Joseph Goldstein there, and I know Carmen's on the call tonight. And Calgary, 2 years ago, collaborated with us to bring Guy and Sally here. And Calgary and Edmonton, the whole Prairie Sangha is collaborating to bring Guy and Sally back next spring, friends. Just a heads up. Next spring, they're coming to Edmonton, teaching with me again. And so these are our teachers. And I just saw Joseph on Monday, and he asked about us, friends. He asked about us. He asked how we're doing, how are the plans for the retreat center? And so these teachers have us in mind, friends. Now, also, I want to say Sharda Rigel and Howie Cohen have been instrumental in the prairies. These friends, these teachers were founded, co-founded RIMC. I think it was 1993. Forgive me if I've got the date wrong, but about 33 years ago. And so they have been very instrumental for us. And we just and Howie, I think, is still may still come back to teach at Regina. And then these are our teachers here in these are our guiding teachers. Have been Joanne Broach was our very first guiding teacher, and she is from the same lineage, Burmese and Thai. And then Adrian Ross was our second guiding teacher, Susie Harrington, and then now myself. And Adrian Ross, friends, is coming to teach in Edmonton next spring, a week of metta practice with Rachel Lewis from Vancouver. And Rachel's one of the new generations of teachers, along with myself. And friends, I mean, the big news isn't over. Susie Harrington's coming in 2 years. Although Susie Harrington, I think she's coming to Calgary in July. So these teachers are all very alive for us on the prairies. And then now, friends, before I was a teacher, I was, and we're invited into teaching by our teachers. That's the usual tradition. And I want you to know this too, because I want you to know how it works. Um, you know, it was Susie Harrington, Adrian Ross, and Guy Armstrong that invited me into teaching. And then before that, Guy Armstrong invited me into being a community Dharma leader. And now we carry this tradition on here. How community Dharma leaders are kind of invited. The community notices, hey, this person, it the community kind of lifts a person up. In addition to that person being dedicated in study and practice, and the community recognizes that, and that's how generally we develop our leaders here. And so we want to honor in our community here, Andrea Grazina. And I took this off the web, Andrea, because it had Pixie and it was on the Living the Dharma in Community, but it's a little bit fuzzy. I realize that. But Andrea is our beloved community Dharma teacher here. And then also Regina has wonderful community Dharma leaders. Deb Froh is on the call tonight. Beautiful Dharma leader in Regina. Chris Gilboy was my buddy in my community Dharma leader training. Fran Gilboy in Regina also was there. And Nell Ostrom from Winnipeg is another beautiful community Dharma leader. Carmen Wyatt, who's on the call tonight from Calgary. And so we have these beautiful leaders, friends. And then and this is our lineage. And then I wanted to add us, everybody on the call, everybody on the screen. But I didn't have the technology to take a screenshot of all of us and put it here. that's what I wanted to do. So all of us here, friends, this is where the lineage is now. It's with us. Let's see what I have at the end. Oh, that's it. Okay, that's it for the slideshow. Okay. So I wanted to definitely, we are carrying this forward now. All of us carrying this forward. And we have kind of the support of this lineage. That's what I really want us to know. We have the support of this lineage. And we have back 2,600 years, but also very alive. And so Joseph this week asking about us, wanting to know. And friends, I have shared with us previously that we have a committee 2 years now working on retreat center plans, and we'll update you more fully on that. But we're hopeful. And the reason that we want a retreat center, one of the reasons is to support the deepening of the Dharma here. Continue to support the deepening of the Dharma here. Cultivate our more depth of practice for practitioners so that we don't have to go to the States all the time. And Joseph Goldstein is right behind this. He's really supportive of this. And also we want to cultivate deeper practice for our practitioners, and also cultivate our Dharma leaders and our teachers here on the prairies. So we have these wishes in our hearts, and I think many people across the prairies I know have this in their heart. So, friends, I wanted to share with you that Joseph's thinking of us, Guy and Sally are always thinking of us, the teachers are thinking of us. And I wanted to tell you that I sent our wishes, our good wishes to them for the 50th anniversary of IMS. I want to share that with you. So I sent them a little video on our behalf, and so I wanted to play it tonight so that you could be a part of this too. And part of this video is 2 minutes long. So I think I'm going to take us, not bad for timing. Um, part of this video, friends, I'm reading an excerpt of a poem that we wrote. And I say we because I asked people when I graduated from teacher training in 2021, I asked practitioners across the prairies to participate in writing a collective poem. Now, I know there's people on the call tonight who were part of that poem. I think we should write another poem and have everybody to make a new poem. But you will hear our poem. This is our prairie poem. It's called Dharma Dreams. And I'm reading an excerpt of it. And that's what I sent to IMS on our behalf as a blessing for the 50th anniversary. So I'm hoping that I will be able to share this appropriately. I might need Andrea's help, but I'll do my best. And now the tricky part is going to be the sound, I know. So Andrea, I can see you on the screen. You can let me know if you can hear it. To all of the IMS community, practitioners on the Canadian prairies send you the warmest wishes on this 50th anniversary. We are so grateful to the Asian ancestors and elders, to the founders of IMS, and to all those who nurtured the IMS Dharma, and grateful for how we have been able to hear it in a way that has moved our hearts so strongly. We've written a collective poem about some of the ways that you have dreamed the Dharma into our hearts. And I'll read an excerpt. It's called Dharma Dreams. The Dharma is dreaming. The Dharma is dreaming us as all of life, as human spirit, as kind heart, as all colors of bodies, dreaming us as rivers and lakes, as the vast prairie sky, as prairie crocus, sweetgrass, sea star, and sea otter, the great seas, as all creatures and the earth, as the ancestors. The Dharma is dreaming us through impatience, societal shifts, trauma, suffering, loss, tightness, and fear. The Dharma is dreaming us through unimaginable sorrow and into breaking apart together. The Dharma is dreaming us into remembering the refuge of mindfulness and kindness, into loving the Dharma of nature with all of our hearts, into connecting in strong action for justice, to reminding ourselves and each other of our true belonging, and into a sacred way of showing up in the world. Dear IMS, thank you and happy anniversary. So friends, that went to IMS from us, and you might see it. They'll send it out at some point, I think, in their newsletter, and you can know that it's from us to them. And so friends, just kind of huge gratitude to you, huge gratitude to all of us for co-creating this community together in our individual sanghas and the Prairie Sangha. How fortunate we are to be together in this way. So friends, let's dedicate the merit of our practice together tonight to each of our hearts, to all beings, and let's hold our Prairie Sangha. And may each one of us and our whole communities, the whole world, all beings be held in kindness and care. And know the preciousness of this practice that we carry in our hearts.